AAA top tips for September 2025 exams. I'm Kashif Kamran, ACCA expert tutor for the AAA paper. With exams just 4 days away, I'm reinforcing on the top tips I have earlier shared in my AAA September 25 webinar, which is available on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Kashif Kamran. Now, this set of top tips will give you an assurance about your preparation for the upcoming exam setting, because this is the time when you are all doing the fine tuning ahead of your exams on the 1st of September. Just let's open up the top tips. First of all, the new publication and current issues for September 2025 exams. There is no new publication since the June 2025 exams were over, so there is no new article the student should be worried about preparing for the September 2025 exams. Current issues, none. There is no current issue specifically for September 25 exams. But having said that, yes, but the previous ones like the data analytics and the previous ones like climatical risk and the responsibility of the auditor still hold its importance. I've already covered both of them in my videos on the YouTube channel. For the data analytics, you can go to bit.ly/data analytics KK. And for the climatical risk and auditor, you can go to bit.ly/climate by KK. So you can reach the destination and watch both these videos. IFRS 18 has replaced IAS 1 effective September 2025 exam settings, and this is important. What impact IFRS 18 will have on your September 2025 exams and how things will change for you. I've already covered a video on that on my YouTube channel for your guidance, which is byt.ly/IFRS 18 by Kashif Kamran. So you have to explore these three links for a proper guidance on important things coming your way for September 2025 exams. Now let's look into the tips for the core areas of the AAA paper. Now, if you have practiced sufficient amount of recent past papers, and what I mean by recent past papers is the 7 recent exam papers which are available on the ACCA practice platform. Moreover, the 2 practice exams which are applicable from September 2022 onwards, plus 1 mock exam ACCA has released for September 25. This makes an ideal list of 10 good past papers, which at least give you the right definition of what's going through the examiner mindset. Because these are all recent exam papers, and you want to understand the examiner mindset very carefully for the September 2025 exams. So first of all, assure yourself that you have done these 10 papers. Now, what are core areas which seems important for September 25 exams? Number one, the new style of ROM question. The new style of ROM question is a terminology which the tutors are using, even myself is using. What is it? What is a new style of ROM question? You know that the question comes on ROM which asks you evaluate and prioritize the significant risk of material misstatement. Now, this is a question which is coming for last couple of exam sittings now, and I've given you some examples, which is the December 24 paper, question number 1C, June 24 paper, question number 1B, and the June 23 paper, question number 1B, and including the ACCA September 25 mock exam is another good example of the new style of ROM question, which is becoming more of a routine question now in the question number 1. Alongside that, business risk seems important too. And you know, the marks for business risk is maximum 10, or on the minimum side, 8. So you're writing 4 to 5 business risks, but you should be very well versed with business risk scenarios and how you write business risk. Quality management, we can't ignore it. We know how dominant this topic had been in the last couple of exam settings, and I foresee that to continue in September 25. An example question is September 22, question number 2. Sustainability, we can't rule it out, even though it has been tested in the recent past papers, but still it's a new area and it's a new addition to the syllabus for AAA. So we still keep the hope high that examining team would be testing it in the September 25, so you have to be well versed with it. Uh, the ACCA mock for September 25 contains a question itself. Question number 3A in the mock exam was around sustainability assurance, but you can also do a question from December 24 exams, question number 2, to be very well versed with this topic. Review of the prospective financial information, we know that is one of the favorite area of the examining team. It's not coming since last couple of exam settings can make a comeback. We know that's one of the favorite other assignments for the AAA examiner. So review of prospective financial information, you can see on the screen couple of example questions given to you for practice around that area. Other assignments in the question number 3 in section B looks potential for the upcoming exam setting. Communication to those charged with governance, we know that's the question number 2, the section B question, which comes on reporting. And you need to be very well versed with the questions which have come in the past papers around communication to those charged with governance. And an exemplary question is given to you in the bracket. ISA 600 revised. Be sure of the qualitative factors in deciding the significant component. We know that quantitative factor, the 15% threshold, is no more there. You have to focus on the qualitative factor in deciding whether a component is significant or not. So be well versed with ISA 600 revised. Paragraphs in the audit report where the student generally are weaker. Be very sure about key audit matters, when and where to use it, material uncertainty relating to going concern, emphasis of a matter paragraph, and more importantly, other information paragraph, and then the other matter paragraph. Be sound of the rules, be sound of the situations when you have to use them. And one of the favorite question of the examining team is to ask you a critical appraisal of the audit report, which seems important. Even in the mock exam, we had a critical appraisal, and that was quite an interesting question in the mock exam on critical appraisal. I hope you've all done that, and I've already done a debrief of that mock question on my YouTube channel, so you can catch on the debrief as well. That was basically the question number 2A of the mock exam. Practice management matters in accepting a client or matters in accepting an engagement from a client. You know how important they are in AAA paper, so you can't ignore them because they do come on a very regular basis. So you should be very well versed with matters in accepting engagement, matters in accepting a client, and you should have a proper answer to questions like such. Knowledge topics like the one below are important. If you look at the knowledge topics, some of the knowledge topics are extremely important. For example, money laundering, auditor liability, and outsourcing and its impact on the audit looks potential. Now, this is top tips for core areas for September 2025 exams. The final thing, top tips for knowledge areas. Now, if you scan the recent past papers, you will you will be finding a lot of knowledge questions for 4 marks and 5 marks popping up mostly in question number 1, and you should be very well versed with them. You should have proper answers to those questions because you're losing easy marks in the AAA paper if you're not well versed with those areas. I'm giving you some examples of the knowledge areas which have been in the past paper in recent sessions and are important. Matters you should consider in planning the first year audit. It was even in the mock exam for September 25 for 5 marks. And we have seen that a couple of times even before for the same marks 5. So you should be very well versed with the planning matters for the first year audit, and you should have a definite answer to that. Discuss and conclude on the impact which outsourcing the credit control function will have on audit. I just mentioned that outsourcing and its impact on audit is an important knowledge area. You should have a good, sound understanding of how outsourcing of a function impacts the audit. Exemplary question is given. Discuss the group auditor consideration when determining which component work should be used. So you should be very well versed with ISA 600. You should be very well versed with the qualitative factors you should be using. Discuss Broadway and Company responsibilities in relation to non-compliance with laws and regulations, so on and so forth. These questions have come two times, one in September, December 24, question number 1D, and once in September 22, question number 1D. So most of the time, you find these knowledge questions coming in question number 1, with the exception of the number 3 above, which is in question 3A. Discuss the challenges associated with using data analytics. Even a question can ask you, discuss the benefits associated with using data analytics, or even recommend the procedures using data analytics, because these are all things covered by the examiner in the article around data analytics. So these are top tips for knowledge areas. I hope these tips will help you assure yourself that you are fully prepared for your exam on Monday. These tips will help you fine tune yourself for the exam on Monday. I wish you all a very best of luck for Monday, and I wish you success. Your tutor, Kashif Kamran, signing off.